The biggest transformation that's been going on globally and in Australia is the advent of generative AI. Whilst it was around 12 months ago, it's now become embedded in every major piece of software and hardware that's being rolled out globally. So Australia needs to think long and hard about where it wants to play in this massive transformation that's going on globally.
Productivity is put out there as probably one of the issues that we have here in Australia from an economic perspective. AI is believed to be able to add $1.5 trillion to the GDP of the Australian economy. That is not insignificant. So you're talking about a technology that has the ability to transform industry, to drive increases in productivity.
I personally listen to a lot of these stories from the public service leaders that we are not ready for AI. And I think that is one of the worst examples of embracing AI. You don't have to be ready for AI. The whole world moved to GPT within a day. So you don't have to be ready for AI. I think that's one of the strong messages I want to give to all the government leaders and, of course, the leaders across our Australian enterprises as well, that you don't have to be ready. AI don't have you to be ready for anything. Just use AI. It's available, and trust the use of it. You need to trust your employees. You need to trust yourself how to use it. But I think embracing AI is really important from a government leaders as well.
The more organisations embrace it rather than look at it as something to be terrified of, the clearer they get an opportunity to actually leverage it, understand its capabilities, but also understands its strengths and weaknesses as well. That also kind of leads it more into actually thinking about the capability and the workforce that's required to be able to enable AI as a powerful tool. So I think increasingly as we talk about AI as a technology asset, more and more we should be thinking about AI as a skill set and a capability we want to foster, and start thinking about the younger demographics and how early we can teach our young people about the power of AI, how they can use it, and then how it becomes an enabler for organisations and for industry more broadly as well.
There is a fear factor out there. In a survey that was conducted, 69% of Australians indicated they were fearful of AI. I actually think we have a role to play, government has a role to play to ensure that that fear factor is removed. There is so much opportunity. Now, it needs to be done responsibly. So the overall governing of AI is a critical factor, but I don't think it can be the driving force. We need to be looking at the benefits of AI to society and to our economy as a whole.
That is the challenge for Australia, to make sure that we keep up with what is going on globally. And I fear that we're missing a few important elements to ensure that we do maintain a capability that will ensure that we are productive into the future. Every core industry in Australia is going to be using AI if they're not already using it now. And we need the skills, the people, the appropriate government investment and leadership to ensure that we adopt these amazing productivity tools and we reap the benefits across the economy, which we know are there from various different global and local surveys.
I think every day when I go to work or when I talk to people or you go to social media, you read newspapers, there's always two sides of the story. People who are embracing AI and they talk and post about how happy they are with the results. But there are people who are worried about how AI can interfere their lives or taking their jobs away. I feel the world is divided into two already. And I personally think the people on the AI side are much more productive. And as soon as people adopting AI, their lives is much better.
The short answer on whether the government should be helping small businesses and larger enterprise on AI is absolutely yes. I think where the rubber really hits the road is really starting to think about, well, how does that work? I think the demonstrable strength we've already seen the government show in recent technology discussions, in skilled workforce, in the likes of cybersecurity, has been coming to the table and wanting to collaborate with industry. So when I think about artificial intelligence as, let's say, today's real horizon topic that we should be getting around, it would be great to see the government facilitate some kind of inter-industry collaboration. I think it's also to recognise the likes of universities and tertiary sectors in terms of their research capability and others, but also for the government to act as a collaborator amongst not just our enterprise in our region, but how we partner across the borders as well, and partner with those organisations and regions who have been quite intimately working with AI and capability, and see how we can leverage and collaborate over some of that.
Australia has some major structural challenges. We have a productivity problem and a GDP growth problem. Technology is part of that answer. So industry and government needs to work together to understand how we together drive productivity improvement across the economy. Talk about AI. AI is part of that solution. We need to ensure we have fit-for-purpose regulation. We know from our AIIA Tech Index that CIOs right across the economy are really concerned about cybersecurity and government regulation. The two go hand in hand because cybersecurity is driving regulation, but also the government's talking about AI regulation and regulation across a number of sectors. So we don't want to put a handbrake on investment that leads to productivity benefits. But you look at other areas of the economy that we've got challenges, decarbonisation of our energy grid and our economy more broadly to get to Paris 2050. You look at the ageing of the population and you look at digital transformation. Now, technology plays a core role in every areas of the Australian economy and our challenges for our economy over the next decade. So we need to actually come together with industry and government to work out a holistic strategy and partner to achieve, what we all want to achieve, which is Australia to be prosperous into the future.
We need to see the government lean into the opportunity that it represents. Yes, once again, it's really important that we're doing it responsibly, but it can't only be through the lens of regulation responsibility around AI. We need to be amplifying the examples of where AI is being used for the benefit of citizens and business outcomes.
Look, we need to do more. The budget allocated $39 million. In the budget, not 1 cent of that is going to go towards industry uplift and capability and growing a domestic AI sector, which is really disappointing. We need to do more. The rest of the world is advancing at pace and investing. Singapore, the UK, the US, Canada, every other major economy is investing billions of dollars into skills uplift, local large language models, and various different principal and AI sort of adoption frameworks. We've yet to do any of those things in this country.
I definitely think sooner or later Australians will realize the value of AI when specifically they will see the whole world on the other side is far ahead of them. But I think we have a strong role to play, including the government, including some of the enterprise leaders, to embrace AI and to help their employees and staff to start utilizing the AI tools.